In 1972, two men on the island of Guam were checking their traps near a river. Then they saw something moving in the jungle. At first, they thought it was just another local man. But the man looked strange. He was thin. His clothes were handmade. And when they came closer, he panicked. This was not an ordinary man. His name was Shoichi Yokoi. He was a Japanese soldier, and he had been hiding in the jungle for nearly 28 years after World War II. Shoichi Yokoi was born in Japan in 1915. Before the war, he worked as a tailor's apprentice. He knew how to repair clothes, cut fabric, and make things with his hands. But when World War II spread across the Pacific, Yokoi was drafted into the Imperial Japanese Army. In 1943, he was sent to Guam. At that time, Guam was an important island in the Pacific War. But in 1944, American forces returned and retook the island. The battle was brutal. Many Japanese soldiers were killed. Some were captured. But Yokoi did not surrender. He escaped into the jungle with other Japanese soldiers. They had been taught that surrender was shameful. To them, being captured was worse than death. So they hid. They waited, and they hoped that one day the Japanese army would return. But that day never came. In 1945, Japan surrendered. World War II was over. Around the world, soldiers went home. Families reunited. Cities began to rebuild. But deep in the jungle of Guam, Shoichi Yokoi stayed hidden. He later learned that the war had ended. But even then, he was too afraid to come out. He feared capture. He feared punishment. And most of all, he feared returning home in shame. So he remained in the jungle, year after year, season after season. As the world changed, Yokoi's life became smaller and smaller. A river, a few hidden paths, a dark shelter under the ground, and the constant fear of being discovered. To survive, Yokoi used everything he knew. He hunted at night. He caught fish and shrimp. He ate fruit, nuts, frogs, and snails. He made clothing from tree bark and plant fibers. Using his old tailoring skills, he repaired what he could and created what he needed. He built tools. He made bedding. And he lived in a hidden underground cave. It was not a home. It was survival. Every sound in the jungle could mean danger. Every human voice could mean capture. Every footstep could be the end. Over the years, the other soldiers who had hidden with him disappeared. Some died. Some left. Eventually, Yokoi was completely alone. No army, no commander, no radio, no war still being fought. Just one man hiding in the jungle, trapped by fear and memory. Then, on January 24, 1972, everything changed. Two local men found him near the Talafofo River. Yokoi was 56 years old. He had been living in hiding since the 1940s. When the men approached him, he struggled. He believed they might kill him. But he was weak after years of isolation and poor nutrition. The men brought him out of the jungle. For the first time in nearly 28 years, Shoichi Yokoi returned to the modern world. Doctors examined him. He was thin and exhausted, but alive. When the news spread, people were shocked. A Japanese soldier had been found alive in Guam almost 3 decades after World War II. Soon, Yokoi was sent back to Japan. Crowds waited for him. Reporters surrounded him. Television cameras recorded his return. Many people saw him as a symbol of survival. But Yokoi did not feel proud. He felt ashamed. His famous words were, "It is with much embarrassment that I return." To many people, those words were hard to understand. How could a man who survived 28 years in the jungle feel embarrassed? But Yokoi came from a world where surrender was considered dishonor. He had outlived his comrades. He had hidden while history moved on. And now he had to face a Japan that had completely changed. Shoichi Yokoi's story is not only about survival. It is about what war can do to the human mind. It is about fear so deep that freedom itself can feel dangerous. World War II ended in 1945, but for Shoichi Yokoi, the war continued in silence for nearly 28 years. Not with bombs, not with armies, but with isolation, shame, and memory. History often tells us when wars begin and when they officially end. But for some people, war does not end on paper. It ends slowly, inside the mind. Shoichi Yokoi walked out of the jungle in 1972. But the war had followed him for decades, and that is why his story should never be forgotten. If you want more forgotten stories from history, subscribe to Tiger Khan, because history is full of people the world almost left behind.